Well, hey folks. How's everyone doing today? Fantastic. As Liz said, my name is Ian Ringgenberg. I work as an academic advisor here on campus. I'm also the co-chair of the P&A Senate's Benefits and Compensation Committee. I wanted to focus on kind of a couple areas of college affordability, and I'm a little inspired by Liz's introduction, so I may try to go extemporaneous a little bit here too. The first thing I wanted to focus on is the impact it has on staff to have high tuition. And I think we have this model of let's have high tuition, then let's have high support for students. But I think in some really key ways, that model fails to support people in the right ways. So as Liz mentioned, the Regents Scholarship, which is a program that allows staff and faculty at the university to take courses to continue their education, was reduced a number of years back from being 100% support to being 75% of support for those who already have a bachelor's degree. That 25% that people are still being asked to pay is an unreasonable burden on staff. And I want to focus in on that 25% of the cost of our tuition is still something that people struggle to pay. And if I go to the store and there's a 75% sale on something and I still can't afford it, that must be a heck of an expensive item. Because of this, it puts us in a situation where some of our staff, in order to continue their professional development, will go and pay 100% at a community college to take a statistics class because it is cheaper than taking the same class here at the university. An employee at the university leaves the university to be able to afford a class. I also hear employees worry about putting their own students through the U of M and being able to afford that. I think we can all agree that whether you're a tenured professor here on campus or you're a person who's cleaning the buildings after hours, if you're dedicating your career to the University of Minnesota, you deserve to know that your students will be able to come here without financial hardship to your family. I also wanted to touch on how I see it as a challenge to my students. The high tuition model that we've had for the past few years has constrained decision making by my students. So many of them are very lucky to come in with a number of scholarships, but when those scholarships are tied to the college that they're in or the department that they're in, it makes it difficult for them to make sensible decisions about their education and their life. So if they have $5,000 attached to being a computer science student and they fail that computer science course, they would rather keep butting their head up against that wall than find something that fits their interests, their passions, and their talents somewhere else, because the model of them paying for education is so tied to this package. It also disproportionately affects students who are not on a traditional four-year model. So the students that are going to have the toughest time already in completing school, who have taken 5 or 6 years due to transfer, due to life events, they're coming back in their mid-20s, their 30s to complete. They're ones that are often paying that sticker price for higher education. I'd also like to comment, I think many of us know this who are in the classroom, but our students work an incredible amount, and it's not unusual for me to hear my students saying that they're working 30 plus hours to fund their education. I work, well, more than 40 hours a week, but I know that I couldn't fit in a college education on top of what I'm already doing, but that's what we're asking our students to do to avoid unreasonable amounts of debt and to make up that expected family contribution, is to spend 30 of the hours that they could be studying bussing tables at Applebee's. I also think this high tuition model reinforces the idea that what we're here to do at college is simply career development. That's certainly one of the things that we do, but I think for those of us who went through a college experience and were inspired enough by it to keep working in higher education, there are things out there that aren't just career development, that we want our students to be able to chase their passions, to learn about civic duty, to learn about ethics and critical thinking and some of those things. And when we make this solely about an investment in an expensive 5-6 digit education, we're losing that perspective in our students. So where do we go from here? I think there are two general solutions, and the path we're currently on is let's address some very specific needs of certain populations when it comes to higher education. And I would like to reframe that if we were able to make higher education something that was once again publicly supported, that was seen as a universal good, and seen as something that you could attain regardless of what life track you're on and whether you get the right scholarships and financial aid package, but something that was more affordable for all, then we would have students who were better able to pursue their dreams and complete their education here.